Good afternoon, everybody. My name is John Mulrooney. That there is Phil Iazetter. Today is Thursday, March 13th, 2025. This is The Great Awakening. Phil and I are your weapons of mass instruction. I love that.
You're feeling it now, John.
I'm feeling that. I'm in the driver's seat, dude. I'm like Captain Tiberius Kirk at the helm of the Enterprise. I quasi know what I'm doing right now. I've always hated the tech stuff. I've been the guy who was like, just clear the way to the mic. Let me get there and be funny. Somebody else handles the rest. But you know what?
You realize that didn't work. Now you're trying to handle the rest.
Phil, I'm not done. Now that you see what I'm sorry, dude. I'm muting your mic right now. I'm gonna have to take you off. I was wanted to be able to do that in radio. Now, you know what? I've had enough of this guy. That's enough. We're done with you. Try to say something. Go ahead. Say something. Whatever. Say something. Say it. Come on.
Nah, I don't feel like it.
That was enough. I just muted you, you jackass. Okay. So I wanted to tell. I called you earlier. You were out doing bitch work, right? You was out doing the.
I had to get permits. I'm building a fence. I'm gonna build a shed. You know, I got some stuff to do. I'm in Florida, John. I got to build.
Dude, you mean you're gonna hire someone to build?
No, we don't have Mexicans here. I got to do it myself.
Phil, first of all, you're Italian, so you're a Mexican with a job. All right.
That's and I married an Asian Mexican who's Filipino. Basically, that's what the Filipinos are.
So she'll do whatever you say. Then that's the
I
deal.
mean, it's we are the lowest rung of humanity between her and I. Italian and Filipino, we're like the dregs. The only people we can make fun of are the Mexicans.
Well, you know, now that Rosie has moved back to Ireland, I'm not sure where we stand as a culture at the moment. Although I will say, to the credit of my ancestors, Phil, they seem to be putting up a bit of a fight. And then I'm happy to say someone said that she's going to start the second potato famine.
It doesn't look like her anymore, though, John. It really doesn't.
Dude, that's what anger and vitriol do to your physical appearance.
Oh, that's not true. I'd look like you if that were true.
Dude, you got 20 years on me. Get some rest, all right? You look like shit. If it wasn't for your little jaunt over into wherever the hell you went, the pajamas.
I don't even know where I went. I went to the Poconos of the Caribbean.
You went to the private island of you have our money in your pocket.
Oh God.
Correct, dude. Those cruises.
What a racket.
What a racket. They're all just a giant fulcrum to leverage your money out of your wallet. That's all. I
thought you would have gotten me hip to that though, because it's so funny. I bought a drink package, not for alcohol, just for Cokes, because I'm addicted to drinking Coca-Cola. So I buy the drink package. First of all, for 3 days, they charged me $36 for Coke. It wasn't even the Mexicokes, you know, the ones in the glass bottle.
And they won't let you bring it on board, correct?
Right, yeah, they don't let you bring anything on board. And if you do bring a bottle of wine on board, they charge you an uncorking fee of $35 a bottle.
Do you believe that? Uncorking fee, as if to have someone else uncork it wasn't nonsense enough. Now it's going to cost you. Pretty soon they're going to have a sipping tax. Oh, were you sipping your wine?
Do you ever get tired though of just everybody just want their hands in your pocket? I mean, the government, everybody.
Well, Trump came out again yesterday and floated this out. I don't know if you heard. He, I think, what's the guy's name? His Commerce Secretary, Lutkin. He said again. You know how this is. They float it out, they bring it back. They float it out, they bring it back. He's saying, yeah, we're thinking about making anyone who makes $150,000 or less a year exempt from income tax.
Beautiful.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Right. That's beautiful. 2 times 5.
Yeah. That's 3 times 150,000.
Yeah, at this point. Yeah. I know. All right. So we got a bunch of stuff you sent me, but I just wanted to tell you something really cool that happened.
Yes.
Right after we hung up this morning. You know how many times has Q said nothing is random. Everything has meaning, right?
Right.
A Course in Miracles has echoed the same sentiment from the time I picked that book up. It says there are no accidents in God's plan for salvation. Interesting, right? Interesting parallel. So this morning, I get a phone call from one of our favorite mutual friend comedians, KDJ. And he says to me, he goes, "Hey, baby, check this out." He goes, "I just got a call from Lund." They haven't spoken in years. Yeah, that dude. See, I'm glad I did
about him 2 days ago.
Hold on.
How many years?
Executive privilege. I'm glad I threw this out to you because I wanted to see your reaction. I'm glad we did this while we were recording. Yes. So he says to me, I said, "Okay, yeah, what's up?" He said, "Well, he didn't know I was on the radio. Our buddy does a great radio show from a little station out on Long Island. He happened to hear his show. He listened in, and he called him up. And he said to him, he says to me, Lund thinks that Biden was a fake." I said, and I just started laughing. I said, "Kevin, there's a couple of Bidens, in my opinion, and they're all fake."
Where's he been?
He goes, he thinks he was taken out in 2019. I went, maybe even a little earlier from what I'm seeing.
Yeah,
You never,
okay.
And he goes, "Yeah, and is right." He goes, now keep in mind, I don't push any of this on anybody, but when they call, and what were we just saying the other day?
I know, yeah, I know.
Friends and relatives are starting to go, they call up occasionally and they go, "Hey, do you remember
when you said that?
the crazy thing that you said?" I went, "Yeah." And I started to explain to Kevin about Anthony Roberts, who is at least one of the players that we believe to be have played Biden, maybe still are.
Arthur Roberts?
What did I say?
Anthony Roberts.
Okay, Arthur Roberts. Thank you for that correction. Arthur Roberts, to the extent that even Arthur Roberts, who was a working actor,
right?
He actually put on his IMDb page, as part of his bio, that he played Biden at the 2020 inauguration. Yeah. So Kevin was like, "Huh." And I said, "Huh is right." And then I started to tell him about I started to tell him about Q and the operation, and he kept saying, "This is exactly what Lund said. This is exactly what Lund said." Yeah. Now, keep in mind, I haven't spoken with Lund in 7-8 years, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, gotta be.
Right? So I called him. I said, "Dude, I guess you red pilled Kevin to a degree." I said, "I've been trying on this side, but he shot me down with the Q stuff over and over again." So we started talking. And you know what happens when you start talking about this stuff?
Yeah.
A call from 10 years ago. I was an hour in the parking lot, sitting in the parking lot for the gym, like going, and then this happened, and then that happened, and then this happened. Long story short, he's totally on board, and he's even gone a little bit further than us, believe it or not.
No.
Right. He thinks you're a 2.0.
Me?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I mean, it's like, wow.
But long story short, he's gonna come and sit in with us because he's got some great stories himself. Apparently, he almost got locked up at his own school for his 10-year-old daughter because they tried to put in trans bathrooms and make his daughter go in and use the trans bathroom. Now, dude, me, him, we'd all be on the same page. My kid, anybody's kid, but really, if it's specifically, it's my kid, and you pull that nonsense, I'm going up and I'm going to be in your grill. And apparently, they installed an order of protection against him. He had to stay X amount of feet away.
I love it. Good job,
dude.
Good job.
Just like the J6 stuff that I was at, I now wear as a badge of honor. The FBI coming with me, the fact that I'm on their no-fly list and all that other horse shit, I wear that as a badge of honor.
There's a reason why I don't have kids, though, John, because where you guys draw the line, I wouldn't. If one of those freaks tried to go in the bathroom while my kid was in there, he would be stuck inside the toilet.
Well, you're a couple of steps ahead. First, you have to have sex with a woman. Then you can.
Okay. So just because my wife's from the Philippines.
Is it really your wife, Phil?
I told you that lady boy stuff isn't real.
I'm sure. Hello, Mr. and Mr. Ayazetter. Or is it Mrs. and Mrs., you little bitch?
Hey.
So dig this. This is interesting because you and I are part of this evolving Q thing. I'm listening to Mike King on News Treason. That guy's just amazing. That guy, but talk about a patriot, a guy who's done his homework. So this aspect of what we're doing here apparently is now being drawn into the plan and being called, or he calls it. I don't know if it's a word he came up with. I don't know if he's branded it as such. He's calling it the manosphere. And what he basically went on to say is that there's a whole world, literally, of bloggers, social media, YouTubers, yada, 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 and everything but mainstream. It started with Joe Rogan to reawaken true masculinity in real men. In real men. Because you know how they tried to bitch us down or bitch us out for the longest time. I mean, I wasn't having any of it. I never went along with
all those gyms. What was that about?
All the what?
All those gyms, Gold's Gym, Jack LaLanne. Real men don't work out. Is that where you're going?
No. Just because you don't work out, you fruitcake fairy Mary?
If you want to work out, you go in your yard, you lift a tree, you do something like that, flip a car off somebody. You don't have to go to a gym like some fruitcake.
Phil, unless there was a pizza in the tree, I know you're not lifting it. What are you talking about? You're not lifting anything. What the hell are you talking about? The only tree you're lifting is a bigotry.
One joke I made one time at the World's Fair.
That's between us girls, all right? Anyway, apparently that's what they're calling what we're stepping into now, the manosphere. These are men leading other men who may have been lacking role models. I don't know. But as Cliff High pointed out, there's alpha males, there's the beta males, which are the soy boys. Then there's us. We're considered sigma males. We're more lone wolf types, but successful. So the alpha males have to always dominate. I don't need to dominate anything, but I do enjoy a male-dominated social structure. And I don't mind taking the lead on stuff. That's why I've been a comic and a cop and all this other, and a host. But if someone shows up in my awareness that I am convinced is better at whatever's happening at taking the lead, I'm going to step it back like a great supervisor. If there's, when I used to show up to calls, or someone, a really great comic who steps into the club, I'm stepping back and I'm letting them do their thing,
It's so weird that you say that, because executive privilege is part of that. Because I remember a couple years ago.
Explain what that is so people remember.
Well, executive privilege is there's many different definitions. The way I look at it is, if something is meant to be, it has a way of coming to fruition. Mm-hmm. If it's meant to be, there's nothing you can stop. You can't stop it from happening. Agreed. It's going to happen. It's a matter of whether or not you're on board or not, because it's going to happen.
The real executive privilege is your participation in it. Yeah. When you see it and actively work within it, that's your privilege. It's not a right. You see it happening, or maybe you don't see it happening, but you're driven by some unseen, unknown force or energy that moves you into that place, and you go along willingly with faith, knowing that this is for some greater good, some outcome that's going to benefit all.
I was in the shower this morning and I was thinking about this, because you had mentioned Brewer yesterday, and then all this stuff. I don't know, you don't follow professional wrestling at all, but John Cena is like one of the most famous professional wrestlers ever. He came up to Sirius one day when Jim had his talk show up there, and I had my talk show up there. Cena came up. I knew he was going to be a huge star. He was a huge star back then. I guess it was 2004, something like that. I was like, you know what? It's going to be better if you do Brewer's show, because you'll get much more exposure for what you need to do. You got to talk to you guys will get along perfectly. Brewer doesn't like wrestling. The two had the best interview, got along so well. It was one of those things, executive privilege, way back then. We're talking 20 years ago. I was so mad, though, John. We got to ask Brewer about this when he's on. And to me, it was a huge thing. To Brewer, it was just like, it's just a regular thing. But the part that gets me, the executive privilege part that really pisses me off at the end of the interview. Now, Brewer's a huge star already. Cena goes on to be one of the biggest stars in Hollywood now, right? Has this huge heel turn recently, so he's still relative 20 years later. Takes off this vintage Dwight Gooden Mets jersey off his back and hands it to Brewer. And I'm thinking to myself, motherfucker. I'm like, well, Brewer's going to get it with me at least, because I hooked him up with the internet. Brewer puts it on, walks out. Well, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish it. Finish your thought.
Oh, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, we all do stuff to lead it forward. And me being the asshole I am, great interview, perfect. I'm thinking, God, I want that jersey. That's all I can think about 20 years later. But the executive, it's funny because as crazy and as bad a reputation as we get for being men, we are the most unselfish people when it comes down to it. We really are, because
excuse me. Let me just say one thing. We don't get that reputation. It's foisted upon us. That is projected. And I'll tell you why. So that because they know that when they talk about white supremacy, it's a thing, but not in the way that they're trying to make it seem. Generally speaking, men and Caucasian men, not that this excludes any other brand, but I happen to know Caucasian men better than other types. All right. Caucasian, generally speaking, a Caucasian man is a Sigma male. He's maybe perhaps even an alpha male in some cases, and a beta male. That's fine too. But get the fuck out of here. But Sigma men lead the way. If they don't actually lead the way, they turn it over and are comfortable with a male who is a stronger Sigma male leading the way. But they understand there's certain things they have to do as a man to follow in, like in the Second World War, or any war, they tap into that young male spirit. That's why I say women shouldn't be in combat. Okay, they can be, but generally speaking, women don't like the fight the way men do. Generally speaking, they don't like the fight. And I don't even like it either, to tell you the truth, but I'll tell you what I do. Much some of it's like, I'll tell you what I appreciate. And this is the one thing that I can say thank you to for every bully that ever showed up in my life, is that it showed me how to stand up for myself. It showed me how to draw a line after being pushed and saying, that's it, no more. And P.S., there was never one time, not once, that I ever stood up to a bully and it didn't change things dynamically. And that doesn't mean I didn't get my ass kicked once in a while. However, that bully never came back for seconds. I remember as a kid, this one guy he was quite a few years older than me, and I had to stand up to him. I got a bit of an ass kicking, but when he saw me coming down the street, and he was always with a group, and he was always leading the group, he always, from then on, he crossed the street or turned away. And I don't know if they knew it, but I knew what was going on. And here's the PS to the story. There is not a bully you ever came across, I don't care who you are, that hasn't said or done to you the things you haven't already done or said to yourself in your own mind. If anybody else did to you or said to you the things you say to yourself, you'd be in a fist fight. Am I right?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Before I get out of bed.
Right. Well, you worse than others. But yeah. So,
but the point with Brewer is like, you do stuff when you care about people, when you care about what you're doing. It's so easy to defer, to let other people succeed, to want other people to succeed. And, you as a comic, I've seen you do it with you mentioned Lund at Governors. You used to help what was his name? The kid from Ireland. You used to help that kid. He used to help him all the time.
Yeah, and he was a good comic, but he was
and a good kid. I mean, it was like everybody. That's the thing. It's like we get a bad name because sometimes we're abrasive, sometimes we speak our mind, but when push comes to shove, we're the best friends you could have.
Last thing I want to say before I wanted to get into some stuff that I picked up and that you sent in regard to executive privilege and what you were just mentioning about Brewer. So Lund is now booking some theater up in Lake Placid, and his first act that he booked was Brewer. And he was telling me just now on the phone, just before I got and jumped back on with you, he said that Brewer was approached by the Illuminati aspect in Hollywood 3 times, and he turned them down. And after the 3rd time, they stopped trying to reach out to him. But he said after that, he hit a wall in Hollywood. He was never able to get past a certain point. And the same exact thing happened with me. I was out there, and I remember just thinking to myself, this doesn't make sense. It's not for lack of trying. It's not for lack of talent. But for whatever reason, it's not happening. And I came back to New York. And I truly believe that I know I crossed swords with a couple of these people while I was out there. And at the time, I thought, oh, my God, I lost my temper. That didn't go well. And now I look at it and I think, thank God I challenged it when I did, because who knows? And so he asked me about Tim Allen, what I thought about Tim. And I said, hard call about Tim, because he's still he seems to be pro-Trump. And yet he was right there in 1991 with his show with Disney. And I was working, doing some warm-ups with him. And I worked with him in clubs and stuff. And he said to me, this is Lund saying this now. He said, Tim is total controlled opposition. And I thought, oh, I don't know. I can't confront it, but that would make sense, right? That would make sense. Whatever. Anyway.
I would say so, because you can't do the things he's done. I mean, think about it. He got busted. How did he get out of that bust?
Yeah. There was, yes, agreed. Yeah, there was a lot of things,
right? And then he had the lull, and then how did he get out of that?
Yeah.
And then wait.
Hold on, and wait for it, and wait,
and then Toy Story. Do I need to say anything more?
Right. Wow. Okay.
I mean, Hanks is that is such a dirty diddle.
Dirty diddle. The Tom Hanks thing is really it's frustrating as hell to see him. Is it him? I don't know. Geez, I don't know. Let's get into some of the stuff you sent to me.
Yeah, can we get Hakeem at Jeffries out of the way so I'll get about 40 minutes to cool down?
We'll do that in a second. This one was great. This one you sent. When you first sent this, I said, this can't be true. This is Phil being goofy and sending me stupid stuff. This is something, but apparently
it's Mitch McConnell's daughter.
This chick truly, she identifies. Is this accurate? What you telling me? She identifies as
she identifies as a turtle. I'm not even kidding.
Right.
It's the funniest thing, because when you see the picture and you see that she identifies as a turtle, it's like, well, what else would she identify?
Yeah, what else would she identify as? Oh,
you're having the problems again with the clicking.
With the clicking. Hold on a second. Why is this thing not sharing? Hold on. How about now? Can you see it now?
You can't see it now.
What the hell is this thing? What is this? Beauty.
Stand by one.
Stand by one. Hold on. Why is this thing not doing this? I had this problem once before. Are you seeing it now?
Nope.
All right. Hold on. Remember, I told, dude.
How about now? No.
I told you that. What do you call? I had to shut my computer down.
Yep.
And reboot everything. It changed all of my preferences. I don't know why.
You gotta stop going on those porn sites though before you do the show, because
how else am I going to see what your wife's up to?
Oh, hey, wait a minute!
Down goes
you're calling her a guy. Now you're watching her on the internet. Pick your lane, pal.
Down goes Frasier. Down goes Frasier. Down goes Phil's wife. Okay, now this is not me. For whatever reason, this is not opening. Let's try this one. Share this one instead.
There we go.
Okay, that was not open. All right, so that wasn't me. It just was not opening. So here, oh Jesus, dude. Look.
I don't even know how I find this.
Look at this.
I gotta stop.
What the hell?
Terrible.
I got to read the narrative, dude. The narrative's great.
Yeah.
Oregon Mental Health Advisory Board includes member who identifies as a turtle. A member advising Oregon's Health Authority, OHA, on best practices and policies in mental health identifies as a terrapin species. J.D. Holt, who goes by the name J.D. Terrapin, uses, what's a turtle pronoun? I don't know, but they're really slow. She says, "Hello, everybody. It's JD. I use they, them, and turtle pronouns." Dude, she is part of a panel of quote unquote experts advising the state on mental health. Come on, man. Come on, man.
I am me, turtle.
Dude, I tried to date a turtle once, but she wouldn't come out of her shell. Hi-oh, hi-oh. Bill and I are your weapons of mass instruction and stupid, goofy jokes. All right. So
give new meaning to the word turtlehead.
What's that? Oh, she was turtling. God dang, son. All right. Let's do
turtle's actually cuter.
Indeed. Let's do Hakeem Jeffries. This is, you sent me this.
Yeah, and I didn't want to sugarcoat it in the subject line either.
Again, with the problem with the, here we go. I don't know why this is doing it, but stand by one. I think I'm figuring it out. You sent me this. Oh, God.
I think I sent you that yesterday.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't think there's anyone more unlikable, maybe other than Barack Obama, than Hakeem Jeffries. He's just, I don't know. There's something about him. His cadence when he speaks, it's like, dude, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, dude, this is annoying the shit out of me because it's, stand by. Let me do this again. Hakeem Jeffries, share. I don't know why this thing is not pulling it up the way I've been trying to pull it up, but stand by one. Dude, it's really annoying the shit out of me right now.
There we go. It's going to work now.
Can you see it?
Can't see it.
Share this tab.
There we go.
Now you got it? Okay.
I got it.
All right.
To break with MAGA extremists so we can keep the government.
Republicans are marching America to a painful government shutdown.
But we need traditional Republicans to break with MAGA extremists so we can keep the government open.
Republican shutdown will cost 6,306 of her constituents their paychecks.
Put the bill on the floor for an up or down vote so we can end this MAGA Republican nightmare. And if you don't, you own this government shutdown.
And we could put the threat of a shutdown behind us. Our agreement would keep the government open, provide emergency aid for communities battered by hurricanes and other natural disasters.
It's about the harm that House Republicans will do to the American people if the government shuts down.
One Democrat said to me, they feel like they have a mandate from their constituents to shut down the government.
Yes, there are some raising the possibility of shutting down the government in March.
We will use whatever power we have, and fundamentally, we're not going to vote for something that undermines the American people.
To withhold votes. Democrats have the stomach.
I certainly hope so. I know that I'm not going to vote for their proposal for sure.
Are you prepared to shut down the government, to join Democratic colleagues who want to stand in the way of keeping the government open?
Well, there are simply trying
yes?
So yes, look, if we have to take steps.
14 days from now, government shutdown is looming.
If we don't believe that we have a willing partner on the other side, then we need to stay united and not bail out President Trump.
And yet at the same time, in order for a lot of voters to fully understand what Elon Musk and Donald Trump are doing, people are unfortunately going to have to feel some of that. And the only way that happens is if the shutdown happens.
Republicans are marching.
They should just shut the whole thing down and not open it up again.
They are so friggin' stupid. These
they're so cringe. Ay.
Dude, it's so bizarro, the things that it's hard not to believe that they're being told to do this. Are they just the only other thing I can think is they really have so much, all of them have so much to hide that they have no other choice right now but to do this stupid ass shit that we're watching them do. Do you agree with me?
I think they're just a bunch of idiots who get a script. They follow it because, dude, they vote on everything together. I mean, there's nothing they break apart from. Regardless of how stupid it is, they vote together on everything. I mean, as horrible as they are, you got to give them credit because they all stay together.
I totally agree with you. I definitely have to give them credit in that regard because so
that way, doesn't it make it look like they're just being paid to have that opinion and that's it?
Yeah. This is the thing I want to play next is something that you sent me in regard to Bill Clinton. Well, this is 22 minutes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Is that I'm not going to play that whole thing, but that's
no, you don't need to. You don't need to. The first couple minutes are all you need to, and then we could provide the link to people, and they could watch the whole thing. This is coming from the horse's mouth. That's what's different from everything that they do.
Yeah, let me give some context here. This is Kathy O'Brien. I happen to know a bit of her story. Kathy O'Brien was is at the moment a survivor of satanic ritual abuse. She was entered into the whole child trafficking cabal thing when she was obviously a kid, where she really didn't have a choice in the matter. And her I guess it was her parents, specifically, if I recall correctly, her father, who was heavily involved in the whole Freemason thing. Anyway, what was it, in the 90s, I think, she testified in Congress about the abuse that she suffered from the Clintons and from the Bushes. She named names. I've seen videotape of her sitting in Congress saying, this is what happened to me at the hands of these people. And why did I have to stumble across it on BitChute and Rumble?
Yeah. And we got beat over the head with Christine Blasey Ford. That's what drives me nuts. Like you remember Christine?
Right. Yes. That took me a second. Right. She claimed what? Kavanaugh raped her or something?
Kavanaugh raped her. Nobody even knew they were. I mean, come on. And then you have this woman who has names, dates, receipts for everything, and we got to watch it on Twitter here.
It's amazing how great her recall is, given what they do in the MK Ultra process. MK stands for mind control. It's the German it's the initials of the German words which spell out mind control, okay, in German, and ultra meaning obviously over and above. And the premise is pretty simple, and I think anyone who's had this experience in their life knows it. A traumatic event fractures consciousness. And if it's traumatic enough, it will fracture the consciousness and push it off into certain corners. I think I'm almost positive that's what the movie Sybil was about. Do you remember how big that was with Sally Field? Mm-hmm. I don't think that was a documentary as much as it was a tutorial. I think that was the deep state, because we know they have to put everything out in front of you, right? That's part of their law, their karmic loophole law. I believe that that they did that on purpose. Anyway, the principle is still the same. You traumatize a consciousness, regardless of if it's a child, a population, a group, it doesn't matter. You traumatize it, it holds it, it kind of freezes it, and then fractures it. Everybody I know has I'm sure had this experience where some major traumatic event in their life has been kind of frozen in their mind's eye. For instance, you see war veterans, the minute they start to talk about their experience, especially for me, what's fresh in my mind is the ones that went through Vietnam. The minute they start talking about it, they're back in there. And in fact, I don't know if you saw this most recent Sean Ryan podcast with this Marine that looks like he's going to be getting the Medal of Honor. What a great name, Major Capers. Did you see this guy? It actually happened on camera, dude. It's so spine chilling. He's sitting there speaking with Sean Ryan, and he's talking about his experiences in Vietnam. I think it was specifically some guy he had to kill with a knife. And he was suddenly it was like he left his body. And when he came back in, you saw him do this because his son stepped in from off camera to console him. And he went like this. He goes, just like this. He went, did I leave for a minute? And they all kind of, like the other veterans, thank God he had veterans around. They're like, yeah. He goes, I was back in Vietnam. He goes, I'm back. Anyway, the point, it was fascinating to watch. And at the same time, heartbreaking. This woman.
No, I can relate to that. The first time I walked into an NFL locker room, it was like that. I was like, what?
An NFL locker room? What are you talking about?
Yeah, naked black men everywhere. I was like,
but you mean you finally saw a man naked? You didn't know.
I hate you, John.
Hi-oh, hi-oh. Now you knew what you were supposed to look like with all these big rolls of tar paper around you. Hey, where did all these heavy bags come from, you know? Dude, I got on that for just a second. If I told you this joke, I won't go into it. The one with
nobody else heard it.
Okay, all right. The one with Milton Milton Berle and Red Buttons and Dick Shawn. Did I tell you this? So there. Oh, okay. All right.
But you got to tell the people.
No. Let's go. No. All right. I'll tell. So it's a roast. It's a roast for Milton Berle, and everybody kind of like this. He was a showbiz legend. He allegedly was very well endowed. How's that? Was that a nice way to say it?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was hung like a baby's arm holding a plum. Okay. So Dick Shawn.
One plum?
Hold one plum. Which side? A baby's arm.
Oh.
Anyway, I know, right? So anyway, everybody was doing the well hung jokes all night long, and Dick Shawn had to close, and everyone's waiting for Dick Shawn to go up and see how he's gonna top the dick jokes. Pardon the pun. And he says he goes up on stage and he goes, "That's great to be here at the Friars Club." He goes, "For the one and only, the legendary Milton Berle." He goes, "I was in the steam room early with Milton, and Milt had his son with him." So the other joke about how well hung he was apparently this was a standing offer. If you thought you could beat him in a hung competition, you could come up to the bar, and challenger always went first. So apparently this big Texan was in the bar shooting off his mouth about how he was more well endowed than Milton Berle. And they said, "Okay, all right, Tex, go ahead. You go first." So he displays himself to the crowd, and Red Buttons turns and says, "Okay, Milt, just pull out enough to win."
I heard that. That's a great one.
What a great segue to a woman who was sexually abused. Dude, what are we doing?
John will be working at the rape counseling center.
Oh my God. Suicide hotline. Hold on. Oh my God. All right. So
Can we go somewhere else, maybe?
Maybe we should go back to the turtle chick. All right. I apologize in advance. This is no laughing matter. This woman, not only is she incredibly
John, you gotta give it a minute.
Yeah,
you gotta let it breathe before you go. This isn't a laughing matter.
Wait a minute. Wait. Hold on.
Got a baby's arm and a plum.
Baby's arm holding a plum. You like that visual? Dude, maybe we should, do you have an uncorking fee? Maybe you need an uncork. Let's see how I bring. Dude, though, you see how I bring it back around? That's comedy training at its finest.
Wow. Okay.
We are, Phil and I are your weapons of mass instruction, and this is the Great Awakening. All right, I should retype. Phil and I are two jackasses that shouldn't be doing a show together.
Segways 101.
Segways 101. Okay, so this is Kathy O'Brien. Now I've seen this clip of her before, but this is from Val Thor on X. Okay, and we'll just play it. It's 22 minutes, but you said just play it and roll with it, right?
Yeah, if you search like a minute out, she starts talking about Clinton pretty heavy. So
should I go to a minute or just let it play to a minute?
Go to a minute out. This way, that'll save us a minute. There we go.
That's a half minute, but okay.
Identified as Mena Airport. I also delivered a little packet of information and a small quantity of cocaine, a personal stash from J. Bennett Johnston to Bill Clinton. I delivered it to Bill Clinton, and he cut out 2 lines of the coke, and he did inhale. That certainly wasn't the only time I saw Bill Clinton using cocaine. My sexual experience with Bill Clinton was extremely limited, in spite of the fact that I was a sex slave. It was my experience that Bill Clinton is bisexual, leaning far more towards a homosexual end. All I've ever seen him involved in was the homosexual activity, with very limited experience with him myself. Whereas my experience was much more prevalent with Hillary Clinton, because Hillary is also bisexual, leaning more towards a homosexual end, and it was she who accessed my sex programming.
What'd she say? SEPS program? Do you know what that is?
Sex programming, yeah.
Oh,
Sex programming, because she was a
sex
slave.
program. Yeah, just so you know, another thing to look out for on these sex programmings is anything having to do with kittens or cats, like the ears or the leopard print. Apparently, those are also triggers. If you see the leopard print or the cat's ears, if they're wearing them in any way, shape, or form, they've been sex kitten programmed. That's one of the symbols.
To fulfill her perversions. People have all kinds of belief systems, and I'm sure each and every one of you has various and different belief systems as well. Regardless of what your belief system is, it is imperative that you know that these criminals are people. They are within our realm to affect. They need to be held accountable for their actions and their crimes against humanity.
Dude, this has got to be 30 years old. I can't believe we're just getting to this now.
John,
You know?
about the cat ears, I sent you something in the chat because that's the first I've heard about that. Are you sure that has something to do with...
Phil, I know you set me up for a joke.
No, I'm not. I'm honest.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the cat ears and leopard print and the butterfly. You know that guy that does that home.
The cat ears. The cat ears. Can you go in the chat? There's two things right there, and this goes really hand in hand with what we were talking about yesterday.
Your dog heard cat ears. Which thing? The first thing or the second thing?
He's still barking. Go to the second thing.
Second thing. You guy who's gonna go with the first guy or the other guy? What are you doing over here? All right, step by.
Should have go to both of them actually.
All right.
Okay, so if you scroll down, you'll see you got to close that out. We were just talking about her the other day.
Oh, dude. Okay. All right. There it is. And in addition to, she has the quasi print up there. You see the cat ears. Yeah. Anytime you see the cat ears or the leopard print, if you see them displayed prominently, so great timing, man. Good call.
Now go to the first one now.
Okay.
Because now, I don't know if whatever one that wasn't, the first or the second, whichever one you didn't click on.
Okay.
Apparently now that's a thing that they're selling earphones that look like cat ears.
There you go. Now.
So that's indoctrination, basically.
Correct. That is, yes. That is the, wow. Okay. Yep. That is the indoctrination. Stand by one.
Because you were just talking about Ariana Grande yesterday.
And there, once again, there it is. There's part of the program. So,
wow. And they kind of look like devil horns.
Interesting. And there's their disclaimer, as if they don't know what's up with the cat ears. Like they don't know. There is their entire process right in your face. There's their programming, and there's them acting like they don't know. There's their plausible deniability. Now, we were just talking about the plan for salvation, executive privilege, following your intuition, following your heart, moving together for a greater understanding. And you know what? To that end, this is perfect, because I want to read to you something that I had pulled up earlier. And it's from A Course in Miracles. And now I don't know, I have it standing by. I don't know if I can pull it up on.
Not to interrupt you, though, are you as blown away by this? Like this, at what point these coincidences it's crazy.
I'm a little bit more used to it than you might be, because I've seen them happen over and over again in my life. In fact, I'm gonna quote A Course in Miracles, and it says, miracles, which this is, miracles are natural expressions of God's love. When they don't occur, something has gone wrong. And that doesn't mean it has gone wrong on God's side. It means that we have allowed the veil to drop in front of us to keep from seeing it. So it also
we're doing everything right. That means right.
We're doing everything in right perception. Okay, right and wrong. Ultimately, I don't want to go too far afield. Right and wrong are also illusions, but right or correct perception will lead you, which is also called miracle mindedness, will lead you back to your source or divinity or God. Okay. But incorrect perception, or the distraction, which is this is the distraction. Here is the distraction. And guess what? Here are the distractors. What's up with the cat ears? Everyone in media acting like, or excuse me, maybe they're not acting, being told that they don't know what it is at the behest of the controllers behind the scenes. That's exactly what this is. That's exactly what this is. And you're seeing it being demonstrated right here in full effect.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Now I'm going to see, I don't know if I'm going to be able to share. Let me see if I get this. This is on my computer screen.
Because if you search Ariana Grande cat ears, they have a whole DIY thing on how to make your own cat ears.
Oh, it looks like I can share this. Hold on. Stand by one.
Unbelievable. Evil.
It looks as if I might be able to share this. Hold on. Wow, this is pretty cool. Okay, I never tried this before. All right. So here, this is from A Course in Miracles. Okay. I don't know if you can read this, but I will.
Yep.
Okay. The part that starts out with the what do you call with the highlight. All right. So give me a second. Where the hell did my thingy go?
A healed mind does not plan.
Okay. So yeah, here it goes. Okay. So a healed mind does not plan. And this is, again, this is speaking specifically to what you and I are putting up right now. It carries out the plans that it receives through listening to wisdom that is not its own. That's executive privilege. It waits until it has been taught what should be done and then proceeds to do it. Does that sound familiar?
Yep.
It does not, this is the kicker, it does not depend upon itself for anything except its adequacy to fulfill the plans assigned to it. It is secure in certainty that obstacles cannot impede its progress to accomplishment of any goal that serves the greater plan established for the good of everyone. How about that? Questions? Bueller? Anyone? Bueller? Huh?
Pretty remarkable, John.
Oh, remarkable. Hold on. If I can pull you back up, that would be more remarkable, because I don't know what the hell I just did.
Wow.
I disappeared the screen, and now I can't figure out what the hell I did with it. Stand by one. Stand by. Dude, yesterday, this was so annoying. I what do you call? Like I said, I had to reset everything, and it threw off all of my
your settings.
All of my settings.
Well, if you can get in the chat, I sent you something about the World Cup. Did you happen to see that? The looking glass.
No, hold on. Stand by, because this thing, dude, this is annoying. Dude, this is.
There you go. You got it. You exit out of there. There you go.
I know.
It's on the bottom.
But I can't see you, dude.
I can see me.
Yeah, that's a problem. All right, hold on. Let's just recording only live. Hold on. And here we go. Enter studio. I don't know why this thing closed down. I only minimized it. Give me a second.
On my end, everything looks good.
Okay, so on my end, I'm only seeing. I can't see it. I can't see it. Enter studio. Let me try this again. Enter studio. Oh, there you go.
Now it's just me. Yeah, there you are. There you go.
How about that?
Me around a little. Now there's 2 of you and 1 of me.
Now
What
there's-
are you doing?
Oh, Lordy. Let's see. Remove from stage.
There we go.
How's that?
That's better.
Still got that. All right. Whatever. All right.
Well, good time to wrap it up.
All right. What was the last thing that we had?
I was going to show you the looking glass stuff, the trophy from the World Cup. I thought that was a little weird the way it opened up. If you've ever seen the looking glass stuff,
Yeah.
that Jodie Foster movie,
Yes.
send it to you in the chat.
All right. Let me open it up.
Pretty interesting.
Oh, in the chat.
One of the coolest trophies I've ever seen, by the way, too. I don't even like soccer, but it makes me want to play and win that thing.
Yeah. I'm going to have to shut this thing down.
All right. We'll come back tomorrow.
All right. Very good. Well, we got a little thing. We'll finish it up tomorrow, and I'll work out the details.
Don't forget your cat ears.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.